Is it good news for the buyer? New housing construction activity has increased in the face of a surge in building permits. The numbers: U.S. home builders started construction on homes at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of roughly 1.7 million in December, representing a 1% increase from the previous month, the U.S. Census Bureau reported Wednesday. Compared with December 2020, housing starts were up 2.5%. Meanwhile, permitting for new homes occurred at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.87 million, up 9% from November and 6.5% from a year ago. Economists polled by MarketWatch had expected housing starts to occur at a median pace of 1.65 million and building permits to come in at a median pace of 1.71 million. Key details: the surge in permitting was driven by a 112% increase in the number of housing structures authorized in the Northeast. The Census Bureau explained the anomaly in a special notice with the Housing Starts report. Philadelphia ushered in multiple changes to real estate taxes for residential projects that are permitted after the 31st of December. Therefore, developers rushed to get permits approved ahead of that start date. Still, the Northeast wasn't the only region to see building permits increase. Permitting activity also rose nearly 22% in the Midwest on a monthly basis, though it fell in both the South and the West. Most of the boost in permitting activity stemmed from a swathe of authorizations for multifamily buildings and projects with between 2 and 4 housing units. Single-family permits only increased 2% between November and December. Similarly, the number of single-family homes that builders started construction on actually dropped by roughly 2% on a monthly basis. The overall increase in housing starts was driven by a nearly 14% gain in construction on multifamily projects. The big picture: December's surge in housing permits may be an outlier, but permitting activity has remained strong in recent months. That's created a larger backlog of construction projects for home builders as construction firms continue to grapple with shortages of both supplies and labor. Indeed, the number of housing units that construction companies haven't started work on despite having the authorization to begin building is up 44% from a year ago and rose on a monthly basis. This will give builders plenty of runway to continue construction work in 2022, which should infuse the housing market with much-needed inventory. Also, in 2022, we will get even more granular data on home construction activity. The Census Bureau noted that starting with the January 2022 housing starts report, it will use a different sampling methodology to produce its findings. The agency said the change will allow complete local and county data on new housing units authorized by permits to be published on a monthly basis going forward. Looking ahead, momentum could cool this year as interest rates rise. We still expect home building to stay at healthy levels as builders make progress on backlog. Homebuilders' confidence hit a 10-month high in December, while building permits, a good proxy for future home construction, remain elevated. Robert Kavesic, senior economist at BMO Capital Markets, wrote in a research note, low inventories should continue to support building activity, but shortages of inputs and labor remain constraints for now, wrote Rabila Ferrucci, chief U.S. economist at High Frequency Economics in a research note.